A very good evening. You're watching News 9 Facebook Live with me, Adarsh Vepachedu. Leaving absolutely nothing to chance, given the kind of threat we continue to face from the Chinese. India is deploying its standoff weapons across various positions in the tense areas. The 500-kilometer range BrahMos cruise missile, 800-kilometer range Nirbhay cruise missiles, 800-kilometer range Shaurya missile, along with Akash surface-to-air missile with the capability to target aerial threats 40 kilometers away, are at the core of India's deterrence to People's Liberation Army missile deployment, both in Xinjiang and Tibet regions. Now, there are various features that are absolute standout in each of these missiles. But there's one thing that ties them all together. They're all Indian. To tell us more about the deadly-looking missiles that mean business, we have with us Wing Commander Praful Bakshi joining us live on the program. Many thanks, sir, for speaking to us. Please tell our viewers what it means when we are test-firing our missiles, deploying them at strategic locations and in a lock-and-load position.
You see, when we are test firing the missiles, it's obviously that we are now wanting to put the missiles in operational areas. That's why at Balasore range and at there's a Orissa coast, Bay of Bengal, it's very famous for that. They have this, in the name of our late President Abdul Kalam, they have got the area also, and they test the missiles there. The missiles could be tactical missiles could be the strategic missile, Prithvi class or Agni class, and of course the other missiles. So now that we are ready, obviously these missiles have their own role to play, and these missiles are force multipliers, as you know, and they, take away the load of when you put a surface-to-surface missile, they take away the load of the bomber aircraft.
Correct. Because
then you now can put the load onto the missile so that you can divert your aircraft to somewhere else. So that is why they are the force multipliers. So that is why we require these missiles. Whether they are in air-to-air category, that is, of course, for in the aircraft to aircraft, BVR class missile, a number of classes, or they are air-to-ground missiles, very much required, or they are surface-to-air missiles, SAMs. Or they are ground-to-ground missiles, long-range or cruise missiles. These are the categories we have.
Correct.
Whether they are air-launched, sea-launched or ground-launched, they could be any. These three categories could be there, or underwater launch. That's already there. We are waiting for the space launch also. Soon we'll get space launch missiles where the satellites will launch the missiles.
So that really is the next big thing when we are able to launch missiles from the satellites itself. Wing Commander Sahab, if I were to draw your attention, if we were to delve a little deeper about what these missiles really are, we'll speak about the BrahMos missile. This was tested from the integrated test range at Balasore in Odisha. You were just speaking about it. Is pinpoint accuracy BrahMos' biggest USP? What is your reading of the BrahMos missile, and how important is it for the Indian Armed Forces?
You see, it's a cruise missile. It's a trisonic cruise missile. It's close to Mach 3. And of course, it was originally 375 kilometers range because missile technology control regime was applicable to us. And now we have met the requirements. So now the range can be increased. It has been increased to close to 500 and 550. And it's also scheduled to increase it further. Now, we must understand what cruise missile does. Original cruise missile, as you know, if you see the history, there's a V-1 flying rocket in the Second World War. Germans, they had deployed, there's a flying bomb, 8,000, 10,000 pound bomb with a pulse duct engine, and it flew at about 3,000 feet at close to 300 knots, close to 600 kilometers per hour, and landed somewhere in the London area, British area, 27 kilometers, it was a CEP, so it could land anywhere. Nobody knew. But that sort of a cruise missile was there, which could be intercepted also at times. But now the cruise missiles are coming, which are terrain-hugging, nape of earth cruise missiles or sea-skimming missiles. They fly to long range. Their speeds could be from subsonic, that is close to 0.8, 0.7 to 0.8, 0.85 to supersonic like the BrahMos. So these missiles, what they do is, you fire it from a distance, stand off. You don't go over the target. You say 100 kilometers before the target, you fire the cruise missile goes terrain hugging and goes accurately to the target. The CEP, of the cruise missile, for example, the BrahMos itself is within 1.5 meter. It's within 1.5 meters of the target, it'll hit, or 2 meters, that's all maximum. This is what is the accuracy. So it's the navigation system inside which has been fed the devices, the navigational devices, which bring in accuracy, which can be updated. These missiles, if it is flying and you want to correct it, mid-course correction, you can give it from the satellite or from other aircraft. So you can turn it to any other direction. That can be done also. So this is the qualities of these missiles.
Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, isn't the BrahMos missile also the fastest missile in the world? Somewhere I remember I've read about this.
Yeah, I told you it's Mach 3 missile, trisonic. So it was Mach 2.95, close to Mach 3. It's going to Mach 3. So Mach 3 is a missile very fast. It cannot be intercepted. Other missiles, for example, the subsonic missiles 0.7, 0.8 can be intercepted by aircraft also. Fighter aircraft can, come now. Now they have a technique of launching the missile from the top. And they can hit it. They can be intercepted. They can be intercepted by other missiles. They can be intercepted by aircraft. But not this missile like BrahMos. Is Mach 3. Mach 3 cannot be intercepted. Yes, if you can take a chance, you hit it, you cross and it may hit, it may not hit. But there is no regularity in that result. So you are not sure of it. So rest assured, BrahMos will not be intercepted. And all BrahMos class missiles, they cannot be intercepted.
Too fast and too furious for the Chinese. That's the least we can say.
And too low. They are flying low. If BrahMos is coming at, say, 20,000 feet, obviously, even a Mach 3 at 20,000 feet can be intercepted by other missiles. There are missiles which can intercept the missiles. The anti-ballistic missiles, anti-missile missiles are there, but not a terrain-hugging missile. That is extremely difficult to intercept.
Praful Bakshi Sahib, you were speaking about how terrain-hugging missiles are really important given the kind of geography that we're talking about across the LAC region. So if we were to talk about the indigenously developed hypersonic nuclear-capable Shaurya missile, this happens to be an advanced version of submarine-launched ballistic missile, or the SLBM. I'm given to understand that this SLBM is less vulnerable to anti-ballistic missile defense systems because it is so maneuverable. And it also looks like an ideal fit for our armed forces given the kind of difficult terrain. Your thoughts on that?
Yes. Yeah, it's an advanced version, a modification of K-15. There's no doubt about it. Now, maneuverability, what happens is, if it is going to be intercepted and if you're monitoring the launch of your missile, you can increase the burst of speed, or you can make it, you can make a directional change in it. Means it all depends on how you're monitoring it. So, and it has got an onboard monitoring system also. If it feels that if the missile picks up another missile or anti-ballistic missile, in the region, it will take, evasive action itself. Or it can, whichever direction it is so computerized that it will take a maneuver which will negate the arrival of the intercepting missile. That is what it is about. And its speed can become, in the later part of it, it can become hypersonic, close to Mach 7. So that is what it is.
So such smart pieces of machinery that we are really talking about. And I can only imagine the kind of training that goes into remotely controlling these very missiles. You were speaking about how quickly they can change their direction, but it needs an equally quick mind on ground controlling these very missiles. But on the other hand, Wing Commander Saab, can we say that the Nirbhay missile trumps all the other missiles that we just spoke about? I say this because of the near 1,000-kilometer range and both sea skimming and loitering capability that it possesses. I mean, how important and how cool is this loitering capability that this particular missile has? And how strategically important is the Nirbhay missile for the Indian Armed Forces?
See, it can go 1,000 kilometers and it is also increasing the range. and it can carry a warhead up to 1500 kilograms or even more. Now, it all depends on what warhead you're carrying. You see, if you're carrying a 1000 kg bomb and you go 1000 kilometers and drop the 1000 kg bomb, what can a 1000 kg bomb do? Ask me. Makes a 15 feet by 6 feet crater. May break 2 buildings. So what is 2 buildings for an enemy? They'll change the building. Or it can carry, if there are 20 people in the building, they die. The question is how many buildings you'll break, how many people you'll kill. These are all replaceable items. So you must keep that in mind, that what warhead you are carrying. Are you carrying a nuclear warhead or you're carrying a conventional warhead? Yes, but if your missile is accurate, its accuracy is quite a lot, very good. They are improving it, and it's a single shot kill probability. SSKP is close to 90% plus. Means whatever target is hitting 90% of time, even more, it will hit the target. That is SSKP. And its accuracy is very good. So yes, you can, but then you will have to be very selective as to what is your target. You cannot just fire a missile or costly missile like this for any, all and sundry target, which will not give you any benefit.
But again, Wing Commander, I'm sorry to disturb you. I just want to really understand, can the Nirbhay missile really loiter in the air in the sense that it can float and observe almost and then go ahead?
Not float. Okay. It not float.
Okay.
That's not the loiter. Loiter is that probably you can make it fly at a location. Probably you may change its direction, and that is loitering. Or probably it can be made to, if you feed in properly in the navigation system, it can change its direction in a couple of times and come to its original direction. That is what it means. The loitering. Okay. Loitering does not mean it like a helicopter. No, it will not.
Okay.
It will. That is not possible. It will fly. An aerodynamic machine. It will fly at that speed. All right. It can increase speed. There's no doubt about it. But loitering time means, yes, it can stay more in the air and still, like you want to attack a target which is 100 kilometers away after 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, this missile will take a detour or probably take a dog leg on the way you feed in, so that it will arrive even to a close by target after 10 minutes. Means it can waste 10 minutes in the air elsewhere. That's what it means.
Wing Commander Sahab, you were speaking about how Nirbhay missile is something that is very costly and you have to be very picky about what you're targeting. But on the other hand, the Akash missile seems to be pretty stunning. I'm given to understand that this missile has the capacity to track 64 targets at any given time and simultaneously engage 12 of them. Kindly explain to us what these stunning numbers really mean.
You see, Akash missile, the launcher can pick up, the radar can pick up so many targets. You have 8 targets, 10 targets, or whatever the targets you pick up, and each target can be engaged. That's what it means from the Akash system. It does not mean only one target can be engaged. From that system, you can launch number of missiles and engage. It does not mean that one missile will go and hit different targets. It doesn't mean that.
Yeah. All right. So again, this comes in very handy, especially when we have multiple targets. Like how we were discussing about the Nirbhay missile, it's only one shot. But Akash gives you around 12 shots, if I were to say that, because you can engage 12 of them, 12 targets.
Yeah, your system, which is launching the Akash, can engage so many targets. That's what it means.
Right.
It means that so many targets can be engaged by the missile. So this is what it is. Means. It does not mean that one missile will go and engage one target and again another target and third target.
Yes,
no, what you're talking of is we have the systems, missiles which can release dispensers. When they release dispensers, they are carrying various missiles in that dispenser, and those dispenser can release the number of missiles for various targets. That is another thing. So that is what is also there.
All right. Wing Commander Sahab, lastly, before I let you go, kindly tell us about how you feel about the DRDO, the amount of work that they're putting in. It's all indigenous missiles that we spoke about so far. So what do you have to say about DRDO's next plan of action and what they should be doing next?
Let me tell you one thing. DRDO, as far as the missiles are concerned, probably they are a very high class and a very high level in the world status. There are perhaps 2 or 3 countries which probably France, America, Russia, probably they may be ahead of them in the missile technology, thanks to President Abdul Kalam Sahib. Because of that, because of the boost he gave, and our scientists are remarkable. This what they are achieving at the moment in the entire world is waiting and listening and looking at them. This is what is it, and China is really worried the way we are making improvement leaps and bounds in this missile technology. And mind you, there is a very strange thing which probably you're not. The DRDO, the last 3 years, 4 years, has shown wonders. Whether it's any department, this is what I'm trying to tell you, that DRDO probably was waiting for a right atmosphere to work and the right political, decision and political directions to be given, and that's why it is coming up. I know these organizations. I've seen HL very closely. It all depends upon the leadership.
Oh yes.
So this is what it is. Our scientists are very capable. They're better than Americans. Let me tell you one thing. When they go to America, they make them work for them. Our scientists are so good.
Correct.
They require an atmosphere, they require a system, and that's what they have got. That is what DRDO is all about.
Right. And it all seems to be coming together very nicely for the DRDO at this point in time. Many thanks indeed, Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, for joining us and for shedding light on what India is really up to when it comes to pushing its indigenous tech right there at LAC. And yes, China should be a worried side at this point in time. All thanks to the kind of vision that our missile man, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, had, and the kind of hard work that the scientists and researchers at the DRDO have put in. If you've liked the information that we've shared with you this evening, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to News 9 on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Many thanks for joining us.